Okay, let's wait until I get some people in here. So if you're watching this not live, thank you. Oh, people started to turn up, so I better do my thing. Okay, everyone, thank you very much for coming along. Welcome back to Customising Live, where I'm doing Doctor Doom's version of the Sculpting the Destroyer, part 2. Previously on Customising Live, I took the Marvel Select Destroyer and hollowed it out and added some lights into it. And I'm eventually aiming to make, inspired by this image in the background from Thor issue 604, 606 perhaps, I don't know, I've forgotten now. 606 it was, Doctor Doom's Destroyer. So yeah, that's basically where I'm coming from with this. So you can see the progress I've made so far. I'm not too sure what I'm going to be aiming for tonight. So we'll see what happens. Let me just try and get things so I can see who's chatting to me. I can never remember how to do this. So what I try to do is I've got my iPad over here and I try to bring up the chat on that, because filming it with my phone it's very difficult to do and manage the chat at the same time. So I now cannot remember how I get the chat to appear on my iPad. Righty, I guess I just have to go to my channel on YouTube. Frustrating. Sorry, I'm so rubbish at this. I will get customizing soon, I promise you. My channel. Oh, here we go. Righty, now where do I see the live chat? Live chat, here we go. Right, okay, I've now got the live chat up, everyone. There you are, you can see yourselves. Right, Michael Wisman, hello. Nathaniel Camps, hello. Justin the Zilla, hello. Matthew Whiting, looking good, mate. I know, right? Thank you. Rectangular, Todd, thank you. Commander Malvis, hi. Edward the Ghoul, hi. Green Diablo, heyo. Jason Clendenning, hello there, Jason. Loving the tendrils so far, thank you. Fox and Fox, hello. Georgie Ascalante, Escandalo, hi. Mighty Fighters, hi, I'm new around here. Do you do this often? Is that a chat up line? I'm not sure. I don't think I would say I do this often, but every once in a while, I guess. Plastic Goodies, hello. Matthias 61728, was Matthias 61727 taken, Matthias? Hello. Trevor Nguyen Tran, hello, hi. Nolan McCool, hey Craig, how's it going? I'm fine, thank you. Nolan, how's it going with you? Justin the Zilla, Senpai noticed me. Yeah. I ain't no senpai. This ain't high school. Billy says, yo, it's ya boy Billy. Hello there, Billy. That's good, Matthias. Righty, so just a reminder to everyone that's in the chat, we always get some dicks in here. So if anyone is a dick and you're kind of hating them, please ignore them. I will spot it and get rid of them myself. But if you feel there's someone I'm not noticing, please do let me know. And see what I can do to make the chat a pleasant place to be. Righty. what have I got going on? Okay, so we've got the Destroyer in front of us, and move this up. So he is held together by blue tack at the moment. I don't recommend it as a customizing thing, but there we go. Just for the pure visual at the start of the video and for the thumbnail, I'm holding them together with blue tack. Just get that off there. So I'm trying to remember where I was last time. Okay, so last time he did look a little bit different. What I've kind of done is just worked on half of it because I don't really know where I'm going with the design of the Destroyer at the moment. I'm obviously doing something different from the comic based Destroyer here. So I spoke previously that I wanted to sort of capture my Doctor Doom custom. He has on his armour, he has, see on his knees there, and on his arms he has some sort of tentacle detailing, and I wanted to capture that with the Destroyer as well because it ties into my Latverian diorama, which has this throne with the tentacles rising out it and ensnaring these heraldic beasts. So I'm kind of wanting to bring that into this. So I just had these holes here that they light up. Bam. They were just previously filled in, but I went back and thought it would be cool if the tendrils were coming out of there, so I hollowed out a lot of that clear resin and went back and reworked it. So that's what I did. I've also added in, you'll see here, sort of tendrils along the arm. I want to sort of blur the line between tendrils and sort of cables or mechanical conduits of some kind. So I want them to be coming out of the armour, going back in where possible. And I've done that on the legs here too. These tendrils, some of them are sculpted. For example, these ones are sculpted, and this one is from I can't remember what the line of figures was called. It was like, it was the Marvel Playmation. I picked this guy up when I was in America. We never saw them in this country. This is Ultron, obviously, from that series. They were like the sort of Marvel's effort to do toys to life kind of thing. It was separate from Disney Infinity. And I quite liked some of the designs for them, particularly this Ultron, but I just bought it for fodder, particularly because he had these, where were they? They came out of his shoulders. He had these long tendrils, which is a really bad look for Ultron, but really useful fodder pieces, so I picked them up purely for that. So you see the design of the tendrils there is like this sort of zigzaggy thing, and that kind of set the design for what I was doing with these tendrils here. So some of these are sculpted, like I said, these ones, and here, and the ones on his knee pad there. This one is not, this is a plastic because there's actually a point of articulation in the Destroyer there, and that I was really stuck for a long time. How could I have a tendril going up there without breaking that sculpt? So by using a free floating one, it moves around with it. So that hopefully keeps that sort of look intact. The knee pad, I started it last time, as you saw here, screwing it in, and I've kind of built up the detail on that. I've gone with some sort of horns coming out of it with the tentacles wrapping around them. And I didn't want to put tentacles absolutely everywhere. So you see down here on the leg, there aren't any, but I did change that design. I thought it was quite bland comparatively with what's all going on up here. So I just sculpted in the sort of V shapes onto that, just to bring in that sort of spiky look a bit further. And of course the boot, which you saw me last time, I was adding articulation to that. And I've gone ahead and put more spikes on it, sculpted it, and done some riveting along there as well. So that's where I'm kind of at with the lower part. I've also done his shoulder pad. I've just been working on this today. So yeah, it's also, so I'll just go up there. The shoulder pad was a little bit, like this is the shoulder pad as it comes, so I've brought in the sort of, see the sort of chevron design that's on all the other sort of banding. I've brought that up onto the shoulder, added these bigger spikes and a tentacle wrapping around one of them. I haven't decided whether I'm going to keep this other shoulder pad. What I'm thinking, I do want to have some sort of cape on him. It's very important to Doctor Doom's overall look that he has that cape. So I've been playing around with like some sort of cape ideas, but to be honest, it looks kind of silly. Like, this is obviously not at all in any fashion finished, but when I was just sort of playing around, I thought it looked kind of silly for him to have a full cape. Obviously if I did it, it would look much better than that, but I don't know, it just didn't lend itself well. So what I'm actually thinking I'm going to do is bring the cape in a sort of asymmetrical style. Oh, that's what happens when you don't use blue tack. Blue tack, save me. There we go. So yeah, what I'm thinking is I'll do an asymmetrical cape over one shoulder, maybe quite ragged and worn, just so that brings in that Doctor Doom look, and the shoulder pad won't be there. I was thinking what it would help also do is I could have then some kind of gold clasp there and a leather strap running down somehow, because I was thinking part of Doctor Doom's sort of look is that sort of leather, big leather belt. So yeah, I thought maybe bringing in the leather strap somehow as holding his cape in place. And also I could have, I've got some chain here, you know, that sort of chain that holds Doctor Doom's sort of cape together. I could just have the chain dangling down there. Somehow it might put some wire through it so it's a bit more posable. Something. So I'm just thinking something quite asymmetrical as far as the cape is concerned. And yeah, I guess that's where I'm at with it. Yeah. Okay, sorry everyone. I was well aware the chat was flashing in the corner, and I'm well aware that I need to do a big burp. Oh my goodness. Cover your ears, everyone. Oh, that wasn't that big. Right. Okay, what is everyone saying to me? Sorry for ignoring you for a moment. Rectangular, I'm going to work on customs as I watch you work on a custom. Good. Let me know what you're working on. And also Plastic Goodies is doing the same thing. Billy asked me, have I ever done any wrestling customs? No, I haven't, Billy. Todd is right. I am not really into wrestling. It's far too gay for me. Michael Wisman says he loves the some Lovecraftian themes in my Doom work. Thank you. Spoiler, Doctor Doom's real identity is Stan Lee, in a way, I suppose. Victor Carvalho says, hi Craig, I'm a big fan of yours since I got interested in customizing figures. Thank you very much, Victor. Kyle Harris, I missed the start of this video because I was rewatching Craig's I Was a Teenage Customizer video. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, Kyle, and thank you for turning up now. Jason Clendenning is saying, that boot articulation is great. Big fan of Action Figure Toronto's work as well. Those tutorials he does are quite good. I need to try that toe articulation method soon. Indeed, Action Figure Toronto is a whole other class. He's absolutely fantastic. Zalgo336 NT, hello. Rob Pollock. I can only watch for a few minutes, or a couple of minutes, but it'll be the best few minutes I spend today. Looking great, Craig. Thank you very much, Rob. Oh, hey, it's Rob. It is indeed. Green Diablo. The one shoulder cape seems like the best idea. Personally, I'm partial to the idea of a full cape that's got a beaten and worn look to it. Thank you. I was thinking that as well, but that idea may evolve as I work through it. Brian Chua, thank you. Hi. Chris Knight. I covered my ears, but I have headphones on. Well, you would have got the full blast of my gastrointestinal belch. So lucky you. Mighty Fighters, on average, how much would you say each custom costs? There is no real average, to be honest. When you think about the base figure, sometimes I take a hand from another figure. Do I count that as a full cost or another cost? Or, because if I count that in that cost, did I then add it to the other hand that I use later on another figure? It's hard to come up with a cost because I have a lot of the materials here already. So I really wouldn't know. Il Canale de Rose. Action figures, model kits and more. That's some name. A raggedy cloth would be nice. We shall see. Eric Romero. Do you do customs for hire? No, I ain't no Misty Knight. Kyle Harris. I did. You did. Cool. Jonathan Sanchez. Have I made a Dragon Man figure? If so, what do you recommend for the base body? I have not made a Dragon Man figure, so I don't know. But Jason Clendenning, who is in this room, in this chat room, he's not in this room, he used the Evolve monster, and that came out very nicely, so there's an idea. Oh, it's Christopher Serda. Awesome, he's caught me live. I'm always kicking it up a notch with my customs. I try, Christopher, but you have to though these days, don't you? There's so many good people out there. You just have to keep... It's getting tough. It's getting tough in my old age. Edward the Ghoul says, you would use my Doom design in the movies. You know what? Fuck the movies. Fuck them. Who fucking gives a shit about the movies? It's the comics I'm after. That's where the fucking truth is. Chris Knight asked me, have I ever half finished a mod, hated it and stopped? Not that I can think of. Chris, sorry. Brian Cha, you use what to sculpt? I use a material called Milliput. It's an epoxy putty. I'm just raking in my drawers trying to find some to show you. I'm sure you'll see it later, but here it is anyway. The Milliput, this is what I use. It's made in the UK, I believe. So it's easy for me to get a hold of, and that's mainly why I use it. Kyle has to go and socialise with his family. A fate worse than death, Kyle. I'm sorry for you. Have fun. Il Canale de Rose says he has a weird username, but he's Italian. I don't know, is that an excuse? No, but oh, you're a big fan. Well, thank you very much. Great to have you along. Mick Hofmeyer says, do I like Rick and Morty? If yes, would I do some customs on them? I do like Rick and Morty, but I would not do customs on them. I don't know, it's two men. There's not a lot of artistic sort of interpretation to be done there. Eric Romero asked me, what's the best material for capes? Cloth. I like to use satin. I find that it has a very nice flow to it. It handles very nice at this sort of scale. The cloth that I have here is not actually as nice a satin as I would like. It feels quite, maybe a polyester blend or something. There's something not quite right about it. So whether I'll make the cape out of this or I'll go shopping for more, I'm not sure. Oh dear. Chris Knight is going to pop away and murder his cat. Well, that's nice. Right, anyway, let me see what I can get on with here. What are you going to do, Craig? What are you going to do? So I guess I'm going to replicate this stuff over there. Is that what I'm doing? Sure, why not? Right, let's put you back there, Victor. Oh, I also have the head sculpt to do as well. I need to do a lot more work on that. There we go. You can stay over there. Finished. Okay, let me see. So I've got these washers that I use. Just because when I drill out this hole, it becomes very, very rough and nasty. So if I add this washer on top of it, just sort of tidies up, makes that hole perfectly circular. So I'm just going to glue that in place and then sculpt some tentacles on top of that. Righty, what do I need? The glue and sculpt. Glue. Need to move closer. You guys are in the way. Honest to God, this camera nonsense. It's very challenging. Right. I'll get something that doesn't... Where's my knife? Do I have everything here? There. Should I put the glue on? No, I'll put the glue on here. Let me just get an idea of where it should sit. Is that what I'm after? Okay, so it really touches the top edge and the bottom edge and not really much of the others. Right. So actually, I meant to say, my idea here is I will then, this looks really nasty in there, I'm very well aware of that. I'm going to fill this, I'm going to pour some epoxy resin in there. I don't know if people are familiar with epoxy resin. It's usually comes in like something like this. It's essentially like a really tough liquid plastic or glue, and you just squeeze it out, mix it around, and then attach anything to anything with it. It sets very quickly, and it is transparent, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that up and pour it in there, and it has this nice sort of bubbly effect if you mix a lot of air into it, as I've done here on the... So you see all the little bubbles in that eye, sort of channeling the light, making it look like there's energy diffusing out. So yeah, that's just the epoxy resin glue in there. I just poured into the eye socket on top of an LED. So that's what I'm going to do in here. So I'm going to fill that further up, and that way those tentacles will be embedded in that resin as well. So hopefully it'll be a very cohesive sort of look. So I've glued that washer on there. You'll notice that it isn't flush at some points. So I'm going to have to sculpt round the edge to cover up those holes. Otherwise the light will come pouring out. And that's exactly the same as what I did over here. So, there we go. Let's do that, I guess. So I'll get my nose pocket. DeathGamer789 says, "You have done an excellent job on the sculpt." Thank you very much, DeathGamer789. Eric Romero, did you the Doctor Doom on the back? This guy? I certainly did him. Doctor Doom's one of my favourite characters. Perhaps my most favourite. Yes, I did do this guy. And I've got a ton of videos. I did a vlog of me making this custom. So yeah. And I do love the figure. So I've got that half of the epoxy, but I've not got the other half. The Slayer Supreme asks, "Craig, are you planning on replacing the hip joints with a more traditional Marvel Legends joint? Or perhaps just take a piece of cloth or something to hide it? Or just tolerate the joints?" Yes, the Slayer Supreme. I am not a fan at all of those hip joints. DCUC style hip joints. But in this case, my original plan for this was just to be a gentle customizing experience. I just wanted to sort of make this destroyer more doomy. So in my mind, I just thought, okay, I'll just tolerate the hip joints. But as I've done this more and more, it's become more complicated, as everything, all the customs I do seem to just take a life of their own and demand more effort and attention. But with this guy, hold on, I'll show you what people are talking about. But with this guy, I think I will just tolerate the hip joints. See, you know, some people like that, some people don't. I don't like it personally, but at the same time, it's just going to be such a huge amount of work to take those out and replace those. I'd essentially be resculpting this whole section here, and that's just more effort than I really want to put into this custom ultimately. Really what I'm trying to do with this custom is I'm trying to get some confidence with using lights in figures and working on more of a giant badass kind of figure, you know. I do a lot of, dare we say, Ponce characters, you know, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, sort of. I don't often get to do big badass things, so that's kind of what I was wanting to work with here. And yeah, I just don't want to add in those sort of ball joint hips, and I don't know where I would take them from. Really, I would have to make them all from scratch, and that's just not where I want to go with this custom. But it's certainly worth asking the question. Kyle Harris wants to quickly ask how I obtain such a clean edge on my sculpted parts. You just work it for a long time, and sanding. To be honest, a lot of my any sort of definition I achieve with sculpting comes afterwards. I often carve off pieces once it's dry, or sand it down, reshape it. So it's a lot of reductive work. Like here, see this bottom part? It's very, very blobby, lacks definition. But I'll just take my sandpaper and sand that down, and run my knife along the edges just to smooth it out. There we go. Green Diablo wants to give us a random tip. He has found something good to use for custom hair called alumilite mold putty. Short work time, rubbery, but paint sticks to it. Interesting. I might take a look into that. Thank you, Green Diablo. Well, I'll need a sculpting tool. Oh, let's get my old trusty one here. Got my water, got my milliput, got my sculpting tool. And it's just sticking to my fingers. Normally I'd leave this a little while after rolling it together, just so it loses that initial tackiness, but what the hell. Live TV and all that. On with the show. Messy, messy, messy. Michael Wispin asks, have you tried sculpting with green stuff? I've watched a few comparison reviews and that seems like another good alternative, although I do have liquid green stuff and that's garbage. I've never tried sculpting with green stuff, but so yeah, I've seen it on sale in like the Games Workshop places, but I've never tried it. I've heard mixed things about it. tidy that up in post. Once it sets a bit, I'll sand those edges down and carve in that a bit better. There we are. Sorry everyone, I was focusing. What's happening in the chat room? Looks like people are answering on my behalf. That's great. Green Diablo asked, is green stuff the same as Abe's epoxy sculpt? And Michael says, oh, well, good few people are saying, yeah, it's not the same thing. Where do I get the rubber tip tools? Kyle Harris asks. I get them from eBay, Amazon. I go on and I just search for sculpting tools. What does some of them say? That one, there we go. Look, if you need to know any more, this is a Royal Sovereign Limited UK clay shaper, extra firm. This one is a cup chisel, but you usually buy them in sets, so just buy a clay shaper. Just do a search for clay shapers. There we go, clay shapers, and I'm sure you'll find them. They're very common if you just look in sculpting sort of areas online. Todd asks, have I tried Procreate? Yes, I have. Michael correctly says, yes, I used it for the Doctor Strange custom, the bottom of the shirt and the cloak collar, among other parts, indeed. Touchstone Dialing says, Abe's is much more like Milliput than green stuff. Green stuff is almost a rubber rather than a clay. Procreate is like a mix of Abe's, Milliput and green stuff. Yeah, try them all, see what you like. And stick with it. Stick with what gives you the results you're looking for. Todd says 45 watching and only 29 likes. Shake my head. Well, I don't care about views and I don't care about likes. I'm not in it for that. So I'm not too bothered. Don't worry about me. I'll go on. I'll manage with those 29 likes. Don't worry about it. AWPWN. I'm not sure how to say that name. Alpwan. How's it going, Craig? It's going fine, thank you. How long... KZRTFR776. How long is a good time to wait with Milliput to add in finer details and carvings? I don't know. You get about an hour working time, perhaps. It depends on the temperature, you know. I don't know. It's very soft at the start, I feel. It's almost too soft to really do much with, but I tend to do customizing. I tend to sit there and work for either a whole evening or a whole afternoon, so I'm not really sure about the timings of it, to be honest. Austin Drury asks, going from working on Legends, is it nice to have a bigger canvas with a select? It kind of is. It kind of is, to be honest. That's a good question. It's, just to have all that space to think about what design you can put in, but at the end of the day, it's still in the same scale. The detail still has to be at the same level as the smaller thing. So it's certainly different. It's nicer, but it means you have to cover a lot more room. It's different. It's nice to do something different. Michael Poirier, how did you get started customizing? I got started customizing because they didn't make figures of the figures I wanted. When I was a child, they didn't make figures of Double Dragon guys. They didn't make figures of the Predator. They didn't make figures of Iceman and Firestar. So I got Play-Doh and I put it on my G.I. Joes or my Secret Wars figures or whatever. And I got into customizing that way. Very, very, very young. BDC Diesel. Oh, hello. Not sure if you posted any updated concept art for the figure since I joined a bit late. Did you? Not particularly. I've talked through the custom, but I haven't really gone into any of the art I really did for it. There isn't. I'm kind of just letting it develop. I don't really have a plan. I started out with this sort of idea, so it's really sketchy. I just don't know where I'm going with it, to be honest. I have got this sort of design that I did follow through with on the leg back there, and also this idea of the lens with the tentacles coming out of it. I have got that, but elbow pads, knee pads, toe spikes, loincloth skirt. So I was thinking of covering up those DCUC style hip articulation points. A chain between clasps, articulated toes. So it's more thoughts, and I'm just seeing where the custom takes me. Really? Mario De La Rosa asks, what is my favourite custom so far? It's Ganon. Although I do like Doctor Doom. Will we take a quick look while I let the sort of the Milliput get a bit more workable? Let's take a quick look, shall we? Just spin you around. Let me unplug this. Come with me. Righty. So, you've already seen Doctor Doom over there and his throne, which is from my diorama here, which has got shite all over it. So there's a couple of customs there. The Doom's robot guard. Don't call them Doom bots. That's incorrect to call them Doom bots. Then here we've got the Heir of Apocalypse Archangel. Got down here we've got the Superior Venom. This, is it a custom? I guess it kind of is. Superior Spider-Man. This is actually the Superior Venom body, and I've added in the Superior Spider-Man torso and head, and also bought the legs off of Shapeways. So yep, that's custom. Then of course we have Swarm. I love this custom. I toot my own horn, but I love how dynamic it is, the movement of it. I really love that. Then we've got Doctor Strange. And his book. Going along, who do we have? We've got Onslaught, of course. An X-Man. Charles Xavier inside there. Old custom, but still on my shelf. And we've got Spiral. Silver Samurai, who I got for my Secret Santa. Love him. Also a custom, I just painted the green bits on this beast blue. Made a hell of a difference. Some characters that have recently taken a dive off my shelf are Warlock and Bastion. Oh, hello. Try to put Warlock's face back on. One-handed. What are you seeing? Are you seeing the shitty parts of my room I'd rather not let you see? Warlock. God, I can't pose him with one hand. My apologies for the shitty camera view for just a moment. There we are. It's Warlock. We also got Bastion. Put you down for just a second. There's Bastion. I don't know who fell first. Was it Warlock or was it Bastion? It's probably Bastion, to be honest. He's evil after all. Look at that terrible pose, but that's the best he's getting. There's my Bastion. Transforming armour Bastion. Then who do we have up here? We don't really have anyone. Actually, this Skeletor is a custom actually. I resculpted his head and repainted him. Silver Samurai looks close to taking a dive, does he? Meh, he's fine. And then going up there, there's of course Ganon. So yeah, he's like the biggest custom I've made, the most complex one. So he's an achievement, so I do like him. And of course there's my Audrey 2 that I didn't make, I got it as a gift, so I love that. And I've just been asked, is that a custom Shockwave? Kinda, it's a repainted Shockwave, and when I repainted it I didn't like it. I still like it more than what it was originally like, but that Wolverine looks really bad next to Ganon. I don't know if anyone recognises that Wolverine. That is, of course, Glenn's Wolverine, which he used to put on. Remember, he had him talk like, "Kill me!" So yeah, he's up there. Memories, and also Glenn's Marrow. Around the back. They're there, but I don't put them right out in front, you know, the feels. Also, I forgot this guy. Galactus Venom, which people still love. And Medusa. There's a repainted Ronan the Accuser. Echoes of the Infinite diorama. And my custom Thanos. So yeah, I think that's all the customs I have out on display. Is it? Just looking around the room trying to spot others, but I think that's it. That's them all. So plug my phone back in. Make sure I don't run out of power halfway through this. I hope that's plugged in. Okie dokie. Righty. So that's my room. Sorry everyone. What was people saying to me? Jorge Barbosa asks, would I try doing an Odin custom with the alternate head that comes with this figure? Not really. Odin's not really a character that interests me a whole lot. I tend to not do customs because I have the parts. I know some people work that way. They're like, oh, I've got this thing that I'm not using anymore. What can I make out of it? I don't work that way. I kind of come up with the idea and then look for parts. So no, not really into Odin, but that's a nice idea. BDC Diesel says, they also never made figures of the Golden Girls when you were little. No, they did not, but then I never really wanted figures of them. Michael Wisman asks, have you seen the recent cosmic horror movie The Void? No, I haven't. It isn't in cinemas here, but I'll try and track it down eventually. I do want to see it. Milo Shipton says, would you ever do a Vulture custom? Probably not. Not a character I'm particularly into. Also the wings under the arms challenge, and I can't think of a good solution for it. And neither can Hasbro, given by what they did with Darkhawk, but yeah. Craig McLaughlin says, you need a Nightcrawler to show Bastion's arm through. Yeah, I do. I do wish they'd make another Nightcrawler. You know, that the first one was absolutely amazing, except for the face. Everyone always talks about how fucked up Scarlet Witch's face was. What about Nightcrawler's? Holy shit. He's supposed to be handsome underneath all that blue fur. They fucked that right up. Green Diablo. You want to send me the 4-inch skull kid? No, it's okay, honestly. The less money you give to fucking Jack Specific or whoever it is that are making those fucking diabolical Nintendo toys, the better. No, it's fine. Thank you anyway. Mick Hoffmeyer says, have I ever seen the movie Hook, and is there a character that you want as a figure? Yeah, I want Rufio, Rufio, Rufio. No, I don't. I don't want any of them. That movie's fucking shit. Maybe Maggie Smith as old lady Wendy. I'd buy that. But no, Hook is actually one of my husband's favourite movies. So if you didn't know he had zero taste by how he married me, then you sure do know now by how he likes Hook. Carlos Gonzalez says, is this live? It is live, Carlos, and you can tell by the way I'm responding to you. Michael Wisman asks, when can we expect a custom Marty from Slaughter High? Never. That movie's terrible. As well you know. AWPWN, still don't know how to say your name. Are there any TV shows that you regularly watch? I'm watching Legion at the moment, working my way through that. Luckily there's only a handful of episodes. Quite enjoying it. A little bit pretentious, puzzling why it's not just the X-Men, but yeah, it's interesting, at least. Very different tone, sort of, you know, very horror-esque, psychological horror look at it, which I quite enjoy. But beyond that, I don't tend to deal much with current TV. I find it... I watch Game of Thrones when it's on. RuPaul's Drag Race are really the only current things that I'm into. I'll start watching Star Trek Discovery when that comes on. I hope it's not really bad. but I regularly watch 30 Rock and The Golden Girls and Alan Partridge over and over and over again. I tend to watch TV more as background noise because I'm usually doing something sort of creative somewhere. So if it has like a complex plot or a lot of visual stuff that I need to follow, it's really not ideal for me. I like to have something on in the background that is I can just listen to. And watching things that I've already seen means I don't really need to pay attention. I won't miss anything because I already know it. Absolutely Fabulous as well. I watch that often. Carlos Gonzalez says, "Hello, mate, I love your work." Thank you very much, Carlos. And then he goes on to say, "I can't wait to send you some of my work. Got enough work of my own. Don't send me any of yours." Edward Garcia asks, "Would you ever do a Toxin custom?" Not really. I did think about it when the Agent Venom. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, one more. When the Agent Venom comic was going, and I was quite into that, and they brought in Toxin, and they reworked him as Eddie Brock and made him like a big T-Rex huge thing. I thought about doing that, but I just actually didn't like it. Toxin's a bit dull, to be honest. I don't like his look. Especially now in the Carnage comic. Eddie Brock Toxin is he just looks like Agent Venom, but like half black, half red. It's really bad. Just no design to it. That was disappointing when they finally cut him loose after talking about him for so long. So no. Don't think Toxin's going to happen for me. I need a different tool from this one, to be honest. This one looks... Is that one the best one? This one. God, these are so dirty. Like 90% milliput now. Oh, boring. Right, now comes the really annoying bit. Let's try to shape them. So I don't want a symmetry going on with this. So even when I was counting the tentacles there, I wasn't too sure that I wanted the same number on both sides. Also, if I'm going for this asymmetrical cape, I've got to think about that strap running down over there. But I don't really know if I'm going with that yet, so I'll just proceed with these and then work round them once I've made my mind up. This one is way too long. Bam. is way too wet. That's too wet. I can't really do anything with it. Let it dry off a bit. Now, let me just make sure I'm not hidden. That's not going to run up against that arm. Just try to find nice sort of natural curves to these shapes. And have them change direction. Somewhere along the curve. Kind of have it pushing in. Kind of adds a kind of a sentience to it, you know. It's not just a curl of hair or something. If it twists and changes direction, it's more tentacle like, just in that shape. I really want people to just look at this and immediately know tentacles, you know. It's not fire, it's not a child's drawing of a sun, you know. I want it to be very immediate what the shape is. Started to split there. Just taking off some of that water to make it easier to interact with again. So let's see. This one curves this way. Although they're all sort of curving the same way, aren't they? This one curves the other way, so maybe that's alright. Here we go. Sorry everyone, I've been a bit concentrated. What we got? Jacob Santana Productions. Do you like anime? If so, what anime do you watch? Generally, no, I don't like a lot of anime. I can't really think of any anime I really enjoy. No, not really. Coming up blank on that one. I would say no. Darkness GTR1, how was your Japan trip? Sorry if you've been asked this already. I haven't been on it yet. I haven't been asked. My trip's in 2 weeks' time. 2.5 weeks. Benjamin Black, would you do any DC customs? If so, what would be your top choice? I've already done DC customs. I did a couple of the... Excuse me. Pardon me, how revolting. I did a couple of the Sinestro Corps. I did Tri-Eye and... I forget his name. I want to say Slush. I hope that's correct. I did them long time ago, back when the Sinestro Corps War was a big thing. I was commissioned to do those. Would I do any now? I don't know. I mean, a lot of my customs are inspired by a story or a connection I have to a character. I don't feel particularly connected to any DC characters, and I don't have any particular stories that jump out at me. So probably not is my answer there. I wouldn't be opposed to it, and I'm not a DC hater or anything like that. I don't have that sort of feeling in me. But just I don't have the inspiration to do a DC custom at the moment anyway. I would maybe do a DC custom from Batman and Superman, that scene where they discover that Wonder Woman is real by her going to the ATM to get money out. I thought that scene was fucking hilarious. So I would maybe want to represent that in action figure form. I'm really struggling with this tentacle. This one just does. I just don't know what I'm doing with it. You know what? I'm just going to make it really small. Sicky. Righty. What else we got going on? Nicola Bacchich asks, would I ever make a custom vehicle to go with a figure? I guess so. I can't really think of any people that I will have, that have vehicles that I'm particularly interested in. Just not. Is there anyone who has a vehicle that's interesting? Oh, the Doom Roller from Secret Wars, that thing was cool. But not that I can think of. Oh, the Punisher van is supremely overdone as well. It's a van. Not particularly interesting. But I don't think my strength lies in my ability to work with mechanical sort of objects, hard edges. I like sort of interpretive design and meaningful design, so vehicles probably don't carry that for me. Thank you for the questions regardless, Nicola. As Oz, have I saw the It remake trailer? Yes, I have. It's a trailer, huh? Trailers. show you what you want to see. You can't trust them. Stop watching them. Stop doing marketing companies' jobs for them by sharing their shit online. God, that was out of nowhere. That was harsh. Thanks, as was anyway. Green Diablo says he watched the World of Nintendo Peach and Zelda for parts and reference for customs. That would be cool. I've got the... Is it the Twilight Princess? I think it is. Twilight Princess. I don't know what it is. Is it Figma? I just don't know. I can't keep up with all the different Japanese companies. I've got the Figma, Zelda and Link on pre-order. I'm looking forward to getting those. But I would really like a Princess Peach. Peach is really she's my princess. She's thick as shit and completely useless. And I fell in love with her in Mario 2 because she could do that floaty thing. Just rise above it. Love that. So yeah, I'd like to see. Who is it that does the Mario Japanese figures? Anyway, I'd like to see them do a Peach. They did a really shit Bowser though, didn't they? That was disappointing. Carlos Gonzalez says, "You're a great inspiration, thank you. BDC Diesel, any plans for any video game characters in the near future?" I don't have any plans. Nothing concrete. I would still like to make Ridley from Metroid. That would be something though. That would take a lot of doing. Get those very thin, spindly body at that size to support its own weight. And also those wings, difficult to do articulation wise, but now that I'm more confident with sewing cloth, I'm sure I could find some sort of holographic stuff and give that a shot. But yeah, I also I've wanted for a long time to make the characters from Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. It's a game for the Sega Master System. One of my favourite games of all time. It's very, very early sort of spin on the Metroidvania as they call it now. That sort of thing. I believe that Wonder Boy was a real forerunner in that sort of genre. Wonder Boy 3 anyway. And I love the characters from that. The Dragon Man, the Blizzard Man rather, the Piranha Man, Lion Man. I'd like to do them, but perhaps in a more sort of chibi style. Something like those, kind of like you get the Funko Mystery Minis and all that. Not quite pop style, but something along those lines. I'd like to kind of give those a crack. So yeah, that's kind of my my video game wants, custom dream list there. Also, as is always on my Secret Santa list every year, Kreia from Knights of the Old Republic. Might have to make her. I don't think Hasbro will get to her in their Black series. Let's hope they don't, because that fucking series is a nightmare. That's not quite true. It has its moments. Just like Han Solo in an asteroid field. So the sculpting I'm doing here is actually pretty haphazard. Not really following the pattern. I'll sort that out eventually, I guess. Either that or no one will care. Probably the latter. I know there's quite a few customizers in the chat room with me just now. Are you guys working on anything yourselves? Anything you'd like to share? Don't make up shit just to join in the conversation though. Okay. There we go. Tentacles. Might make this one stick out a little bit more when it's inside. Rob Pollock says, I'd like to check out Legion. I don't do cable or satellite. Star Trek Discovery has been really concerned. I'm just hoping for the best at this point. Yeah, quite. We'll see. We'll see. I got Legion on Amazon Prime. I bought it on Amazon, so I'm watching it there. Ugh. Come on. Pain in the ass thing. Just stick. There. Righty. Right, that's that part done. What do I want to move on to next? Let me have a think about it, see what you guys are saying. How long have we been at this, by the way? Good lord. Almost an hour and a half. Touch tone dialing. What's your ideal foot coverings while making custom action figures? You like what I wear on my feet? Slippers? I'm an old man. Komoto Custom says, coming along nicely, brother. Thank you. Aidan Maldonado. Hi, my first time live chatting on your stream. Love your work. Thank you very much, Aidan. Carlos Gonzalez, hey mate, I just bought an air compressor last night and I'm excited to use it to paint my customs. I've been saving it for a while. Good. I hope that turns out okay for you. I still find it a challenge. Aidan Maldonado says, have you considered any DC customs? Yes, I have, and I talked about that earlier. When you watch this stream back, you can probably listen to that answer. But there we are. Craig McLaughlin says, I only found your YouTube channel recently, but I follow your figures on Figure Realm. I'm also on Figure Realm, but I've never made anything that holds a candle to your work. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. But if you don't believe in yourself, how in the hell is anyone else supposed to? Michael Wistman says, I'm ambitious to sculpt that before sanding off the washer part. Yep, well, there we are. I'll fix it. It always looks like shit and I fix it, so there we are. Rob Pollock asks, is there an aspect of Diamond's original mould that you really think they missed the ball on? No, not really. I think the head wasn't menacing enough. It was very bland. I feel like the visor part of the head was oversized, not vertically and horizontally, but depth-wise. It was very thick. I just didn't really think the head was done well at all. The proportions were a bit awkward, but not too bad. All in all, it was a very, very strong sculpt, and it's very nice to see something that's clearly hand sculpted. It doesn't have the symmetry or the sort of the coldness of a digital sculpt. It was very hand sculpted. You could see that, so I really appreciated that. Really challenging. I feel it must have been really challenging to do all this banding work it has on it. To do that manually must have been difficult, but there we are. Okay. Christopher776 says, what's a good head for a regular Bobby Drake figure? I'm not too sure, to be honest. Someone with a bit of a smirk on their face. Young looking. Who is that? I'm not sure. Looking up at my shelves, can't come up with anything. No. Perhaps when the new the Johnny Storm doesn't even look like he'll have that kind of expression. I'm not sure. Coming up blank on that one, sorry. Where does Doom's Destroyer come from? He comes from issue 406, get it wrong every time, 606 of Thor. The Asgardians relocate to Latveria, and they stupidly trust Doctor Doom, and they're a little bit arrogant in that way. They think he's just immortal, and he steals the plans of the Destroyer from them, and then he can build a Destroyer, but he can't power it. He finds that without the Odin Force, essentially, it is just a suit of armour. It's no more powerful than a suit of armour he would build. He finds that it's the essence of the Asgardians that powers the Destroyer. So he basically harvests the Asgardians. He kidnaps them, dissects them, keeps them alive, keeps their mutilated bodies alive in tubes, and drains the life force from them into his Destroyer armour. So that's what it is. Seth Amazing says, now I see tentacles. Good. Glad people are seeing the tentacles. Thank you. Gabriel Roman says, how am I? I'm fine, thank you. G3RS1J says, do you like tropical drinks? I guess so, I'm not sure. Seth Amazing says, your customs are great, thank you. Joe Jacobs, what body mould did you use? I used the Marvel Select Destroyer. Super Binges says, what do you think was on Wonder Woman's bank card, Mrs. W. Woman? Yeah, I think it was. I think it would have been Wanda Woman, because she's that clever. You know, she's hiding out in the mortal world, but she's got a bank account. Rob Pollock, this is me catching up to a conversation a long time ago. People suggesting cool vehicles for characters. Hawkeye's Sky Cycle, the Spider-Mobile, the Batmobile, the Silver Surfer surfboard. Well, that's something I'm thinking about, Michael, to be honest. So yeah, there are a few out there, but none of them really take my fancy, apart from maybe the Silver Surfer's surfboard. He's one of my favourite characters. G3RS1J says, do you like Fate and Furious? I've never seen any of the Fast and Furious movies, so not sure. Marcus Shibius Antonius asks, have you ever thought of making a custom Thunderstrike? No, I haven't. He's not a character I'm interested in. Craig McLaughlin says, you have the Doom Guards and are working on a Doom Destroyer. Is there a reason you don't have Doom Bots? Because Doom Bots look the same as Doctor Doom. That's what a Doom Bot is. I'm a big Doctor Doom fan, so people will often mistakenly call a robot that Doctor Doom makes a Doom Bot, but a Doom Bot is technically a robot stand-in for Doctor Doom. So that's why I don't make Doom Bots. And I'm not too fond of it when Doctor Doom uses a sort of army of disposable robots to achieve an end. I think it's not like him. It's very Hammer. I think he's more surgical in his scheming. Lou Bear asked me, do you like Game of Thrones? Yes, I do. Cameron's Customs, hi Craig, just joined. Well, welcome to us. Seth Amazing says, are you going to sell your custom figures? No, I'm not, Seth. Scott Bain says, looking good, trade, thank you. TZ the Geek says, holla, back to you. That also, of course, holler being the famous hit single from the Spice Girls' third album, Holler. Giovanni Art 2004 says, hello. Well, hello to you too. Rob Pollock says, he made a custom human once. He's good for life. That's true. Did it turn out the way you wanted it to? Is there anything you would do differently the next time? That's part of the customizing experience. Nolan McCool says he's making a sculpt of 2D from gorillas. Nothing articulated, just wanted the figurine of him. That's a cool idea. I like that. Fate of Nate says he's making a skull gas mask. Oh, that's interesting. Rectangular says, all I can say is that my customs are from the Guardian of the Galaxy comics. Okay. Well, if you don't want to share, that's fine. Kyle Harris, I'm a gargantuan fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and currently I'm working on a ghost from the Dead Marshes called a Marsh Spirit. Oh, I'll trust you on that one. Action Jack Custom says he's currently working on an original character of his own, and he's working in the 12-inch scale for the first time. Interesting. Good luck with that. I hope it turns out cool. Will you be doing like a cloth costume? That seems to be the thing for the 12-inch scale. Michael Wisman says he's trying to clear commissions so he can finally finish his Invincible. Are you still working on Invincible? Come on, Michael. Faster. BDC Diesel says he's working on too much stuff. I wish I could be as focused as you when I do a project. I jump back and forth between 10 different customs like I'm on cocaine. Have you seen the customs that people on cocaine make? They're not good. Well, they might be. I don't know. Yeah, I tend to have just one thing going at once because I'm just not... I just don't have that huge long list of customs that I want to make. So it's very easy for me to just do one. Nolan McCool says he just finished the figure of the Max. That would be cool. Mike Hoffmeyer, says, I'm working on a custom Rocket and Groot. Interesting. Jason Clendenning says he's putting the finishing touches to a 19 cartoon-inspired Savage Land suit Professor X custom currently while watching. I saw that. It looked very good, Jason. Yeah, his green safari suit thing. Oh, that cartoon. Craig McLaughlin says, I'm working on a personal character, have made him and remade him using many different bodies and scales, but I'm never quite happy with him. Yeah, I know the feeling, but best of luck there. Then some bastard is spamming, so I'll just skip that one. Mick Hoffmeyer says, what country do you think I am from? Thanks for not completely butchering my last name. I have no idea, Mick. 90% of... Was it 90%? No, it's like 53% of my audience is from the USA. So statistically, I will take a safe guess and say you're from the USA. But I have no idea. Sorry. I only know your name. Andre Salas says, hey, I've got a question. Have you ever made anything with moving fingers? Gannon, he had moving fingers. A lot of my early customs had moving fingers because that's what Toy Biz liked to do, and I used them as fodder. So, yeah. BDC Diesel says, I always go to your videos or the Apocalypse High and Secret Santa when I need inspiration. Do you have any ideas when your next live video will be, or is it usually just a last second thing later, Craig? When will then my next live video be? I am not sure. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next weekend. I'm not sure. I would love to do these more often, but I don't want to make them lose how special they are in a way, you know. Grisesiu Bruntonic says, hey dude, you really got big talent. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Custom Figs, excited for Thor Ragnarok? No, not really. It looks alright. I don't get excited for movies, really. Rectangular says, the Fast and the Furious films are so damn silly, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? That's the only thing that I think looks actually, sufferable about them. I mean, imagine if they took themselves seriously. That would just not be on. Dustin Connell, will you be getting the new 2-pack? Do you mean the Spider-Man and Vulture? If so, yes, I have pre-ordered it. And I've paid for that. I'm kind of regretting it because I kind of like, as soon as I did it, I was like, I don't actually want it, you know? It's Ultimate stuff, not really into it that much. Michael's going for a walk. Talk to you later. Yes, indeed, Michael. Thank you. Christopher Lesnar. Hey, Craig. Hello, Christopher. Craig McLaughlin. How difficult was it to put lights in the body? I'm using what used to be a movie Drax body and would like to put a light in the chest. It's very difficult. I find especially like this is a little bit easier. There's a lot of space in there. It's a Marvel Select. It's a big Marvel Select. There's a lot of space to work with in there, but it's not only putting the light in the chest. It's making a cavity for the battery and making that accessible so you can replace the battery. So it's not just putting a light in the chest. It's everything that goes with that light. That's the challenge. Kyle Harris says, I reside in the country of Wales, which is within the United Kingdom. The second part was more specifically directed at you, Craig. What do you mean? I live in Scotland. I know where Wales is. It's just down the road. Mick Hofmeyer's from the Netherlands. Well, you must make up the very small part of my audience that isn't from the US. But thank you very much for coming along. Good to have someone from the Netherlands in here. Aidan Maldonado says, have you seen Batman vs Superman? Also, what's your opinion on it? If you have seen it, I have seen it. I actually had an immensely good time at it, but probably not for the reasons the director wanted me to have a good time. It was super stupid. It almost needed a laugh track, but I did enjoy it. Metropolis and Gotham are just across the water from each other, and there's all that it's ludicrous that Superman has this super hearing that he can hear Lois Lane around the other side of the world. So I'm assuming he can hear the white slave trade and the human trafficking and all the murder and stuff that happens in Gotham all the time, and I'm assuming he just ignores that. And also they live just probably no more than 100 miles from each other, Batman and Superman, but they've never met. It was just ridiculous. So I enjoyed how unwittingly terrible and hilarious it was. So there we are. Custom figs. What would you say the easiest scale to customise with is? I'm looking to put quite a bit of detail into my own spin of an Iron Man. Excuse me, I've got quite a lot of wind tonight. The easiest scale for me is Marvel Legends scale 1/12, just because that's the scale I'm the biggest fan of. I would always recommend that people work in the scale they're a fan of, that they know a lot about. You know what level of detail works in that scale, what can be done with it. Yeah. That's my husband flushing the toilet, in case you could hear that. Oh my goodness. Christopher Lesnar thinks that Justice League looks really good. Does it? I mean, Superman Returns, the trailer for that looked really good. You can't trust the trailer. Don't trust the trailer. Don't trust the photo. You can't judge a movie until you've seen it. Darkness GTR 1. What do I miss most about Japan? I lived there 95 to 99. I miss the odd stuff you'd see in shops and stuff. Yes, it's the little things that you miss. The convenience of eating out, for example, public transport, general respect, group mentality. Here's my husband sneaking into the room. Hello.
Where's your mug?
Where's my mug? It's over there. Let's switch this on. Oh, you've run away before they saw you. I'll get them next time. Yeah, I miss a lot about Japan. And I also don't miss a lot about Japan. So it's hard to nail down. Miteto, do you watch Gotham? No, I don't. Sorry. Tricoliter. Hey Craig, big fan of your customs. Thank you. Your channel should have tens of thousands of subscribers. What are you going to do about it? Don't know. Don't really care. This is my hobby. I'm not particularly chasing views or subscribers. I just want to put out stuff that I can be proud of and is entertaining in some fashion. That's all I'm trying to do. If the subscribers come along with that, great. If I could make money off it, that'd be brilliant, but I don't really, so plastic goodies. You're from Poland. Well, I've actually been to Poland. I went there for a very short holiday. I went to Krakow. It was great, brilliant, beautiful place, very friendly people, and the guys are quite hot, but that's another thing entirely. Okay, so hold on. Is this my husband coming back? No. Damn it! I want to get him on camera. What will I make next? So I've done the tentacles up there. What will I move on to next? What should I do next? Should I do the knee pad? Should I do the boot? Should I do the pipe that goes in the arm? I'm kind of not wanting to work on this because I know that if I work on it I'll go stick my big fat thumb right in the sculpt. So maybe not the arm pipe, but perhaps the legs. Is that what I should go for? Should I do some work on the head? Finish the legs, says Christopher 776. Well, you were first up there, Christopher, so the early bird catches the worm. Also, just while you're here, hold on, wait, my husband will be coming back in. Setting up my camera to get him. Come on. Oh my god, he's going to totally not come in the room now because he knows I've set this up. Shady bitch. Hi. Look, he's on YouTube live. There we go. Wasn't that worth it? Oh, and with a lovely cup of tea too. Right, finishing the legs. Get all this shit out of the way. So legs wise, I don't think I'll need. Aidan Maldonado says, I'm an amateur customizer, aren't we all? I made a custom kit for a 7-inch Barkman Arkham Knight figure and it turned out quite well. Well done. I plan to custom paint an Optimus Prime figure with an airbrush. Wish me luck. Yes, indeed, Transformers figures are very challenging to paint, I've heard. They, because of how tightly the parts fit together and the amount of rub that's on them, the paint can easily rub off. So best of luck with that. That's just what I've heard, though. Mick Hoffmeyer, what kind of effect piece would work with this figure and your Doctor Doom? I was thinking in the comic he does have a sort of lightning sort of energy effect and these sort of beams that come out of these lenses, but I'm not going that way because the eyes and the chest light up on this figure and I would need the effects to light up as well to match that kind of look, and if they didn't light up they would look plasticky compared with the light effect. So there we are. So I don't know. I also don't know what sort of energy signature Doctor Doom really has in comics. He tends to do a whole bunch of stuff. I don't like it when his power kind of looks like lightning. I think it's too basic for Doctor Doom. I don't know. So I really don't know what would work well. It was also a problem I struggled with Doctor Strange because he has so many different energy signatures. But yeah, so I'm not sure what would work is my basic response. Okie dokie. Now let's get this sorted. So what I did here was I kind of cut a groove in this and set the tentacle into it, and it only came out of the groove near the point where it becomes free of the legs. So what I want to do is kind of, I'll get some white paint and I'll just kind of oh Victor, You've been on that Latvian gin again, haven't you? Made from the blood of children. Brush. Give us a brush, man. This one will do. So what I'm doing is I just want to paint where I want the tentacle to kind of to go. Dude, and then I'll just try and shape it along that line. So, do I want this to be symmetrical? Kinda. I don't want it to be too different, but it doesn't need to be perfectly symmetrical. So from the articulation point is 2 down, then it goes over. So it runs over this one, and then it ends up going down in the middle. So something like that. There we go. So that's the general curve of that tentacle I'm looking for. Oh, I can't get my brush in the paint now. Stay up in the throne up there. Kyle Harris, do you have any qualifications in art? Or, as you are extremely talented? No, well, not really. I have a higher in art, which is what? Don't know what the equivalent of that is in the US. If you're from the US, wait, Kyle, are you from Wales? Okay, you're from Wales, so I have essentially an A level in art. That's about, that's as trained as I am. It's kind of a hard bend, isn't it? I'll make it work. Ouch. So, what I'm going to do is cut a trough into there to put the tentacle into. I'm having a cup of tea now. I'm reading your comments. Supersonic 107 Swag says, why does Doom have a destroyer? Because he stole it from the gods. That's what Doctor Doom does best. And Aidan Maldonado asks, have I played any of the Batman Arkham games? If you have, what of you do you think? What do you think of them? My personal favourite is Arkham City. Arkham City is my least favourite one. Arkham Asylum is my favourite one. I didn't like Arkham City because of the layout of it. You know, it was just this banana shape, just like boop. You couldn't go from here to here because there's a tower in the middle that shoots you. You have to keep going around this way and this way. I found it very tedious to go back and forward. Also, the whole plot with the Joker I just thought was just so boring. The Hugo Strange thing didn't really go anywhere. I just thought it was very disappointing. Also, the plot with Talia, like Joker kills Talia, and then so at the end of it, Batman walks out of the cinema holding. You would think he would walk out of the cinema holding Talia in his arms, but no, he walks out with the Joker in his arms. It was just too Joker centric. You know, I know Joker was all the rage and stuff, but it was just, you know, give it a break, man. There's so many more interesting villains. I mean, the Joker just had a whole game in Arkham Asylum. He didn't need to have that one as well. So yeah, I was just a bit disappointed that it was all about the Joker. But I do realise it's the most popular one, so I'm often on the wrong side of popular opinion. Gabe Hay says it's so weird to see something live. Right? Okay, let me... Super glue, here we go. Let me commit to this. Oh, fuck. Just holding that in there till the glue sets. What else are people saying? Bye Kyle, thank you for visiting. Aidan Maldonado says the drill woke my dog up. Scared the crap out of him. Mission accomplished then, Aidan. I'd intended for that to happen. Of course. Juan Ortiz, love the work roll. Thank you, Juan. Zalgo336.nt, have you ever done a Yondu custom? No, I can think of a few characters I would have less interest in doing than Yondu. Both the comic and movie versions. TZ the Geek asks, what are your thoughts on the Marvel Ultimate comics? Yeah, they were alright. They're a fun little experiment. Interesting that the movies are very... Oh, Christ, it didn't stick. Interesting that the movies, the Marvel Cinematic Universe seems to borrow quite heavily from them, but I guess that's... that was part of what the Ultimate comics were about, was setting them more in the real world, so it's easy to see why that happened. But in general, I didn't really take much interest in the Ultimate comics. I thought they were good when I read them, but yeah, I didn't really go for them. Especially Ultimate X-Men, I just had very little interest in that. I'm not sure why. It didn't really appeal to me. Maybe it wasn't sufficiently different from 616 X-Men. I guess I would have liked to have gone a bit further. Oh god, this is proving to be a real challenge to stick this thing in here. I don't know what's going on. AWPWN, I wish they had given Two-Face more spotlight in the Arkham games. Yeah, I guess so. There were definitely some villains there that were just there because they kind of felt they had to have them there. Felt that Rocksteady didn't have really a good idea of what to do with Two-Face, so he wasn't in it too much, which is it's fine. I would rather, if people don't have an idea what to do with a character, I would rather they just sort of kind of leave them alone, you know. So I appreciate that they didn't ruin him by doing a lot with him when they didn't really have any idea what to do with him. Yep. Anyway, I agree with you. Ricardo A. Cabrera says everybody loves Arkham City because of the open environment. True, but it wasn't all that open because it was essentially a corridor just bent round in a banana shape, you know? Like Arkham Knight had a much more open environment, but people don't seem to go for that. So I'm like, so what makes this essential corridor that's bent round the banana shape good? It was too coincidental, you know. It's like Arkham City just happens to have all these places that are important. Like it has the street where Bruce's parents were murdered in there, along with lots of these other. It has a fairground. Like, this is where you're going to keep people like the Joker and whoever? You don't put an abandoned amusement park in there. Why would you do that? You know, why would you have like the botanic place that Poison Ivy can hang out in, like the ice place that the Penguin can go to? It's just all a bit, you know, it's just stupid, really. I just didn't really, for such an enclosed small part of the city, it just seemed to contain all the key points. Mick Hoffmeyer asks, what is the best way to sculpt wood? I'm really not sure, Mick. I would look for some carpentry things on. Oh, you mean like to sculpt a wood effect from a sculpting material? I'm not sure. But wait, you know, just the best way to sculpt anything is to look at the real thing and understand. What am I doing here? Understand the texture of the real thing, and then to copy that. Might seem obvious, but really, you know, you can't sculpt something until you know what the original thing actually looks like. Some people would maybe find a very rough piece of wood or something and press that into the sculpt to get a texture to it, but yeah, I'm not sure that would look so great at this scale. Aidan Maldonado says, have I heard of the Mezco 112 collective line? I purchased the Batman vs Superman Batman and their comic Joker. They're absolutely amazing. They're like miniature Hot Toys. They may be better than Hot Toys, at least I think so. Yes, of course I've heard of it. I'm not particularly sold on them at the moment. I think their work with clothing is, to use a very strong word, I guess, it's pretty naive. Their the designs and cut of tailoring of their clothing is not quite there yet. Their sculpt work is absolutely astounding, and I wish they would stick to more of that. But yeah, they're doing good work and they're very popular at the moment. They're all the rage, is all I'm saying. And you can't say a word against them. People fucking flip their nut if you're like, guys, calm down. They're good, but you know they're not the second coming of anything at the moment. Shinigami Customs, hello, welcome. Good to have you here. Says Arkham Origins is the best. I actually really enjoyed Arkham Origins as well. I don't know if you're joking there, but I did enjoy that one. There's something about, the Christmas setting. Is that Batman Returns? There's just something about Batman and Christmas, and the sort of haunting music and the snow falling. It's just something that's like, that's perfect. I really like that setting. Rectangular says, hobby styrene seems to be hard to find here in the US. How about over there? I got a model shop for it, so I know where to go for it. But if I didn't, I guess it would be quite difficult to find. You can order it online. You look for, I don't know, it seems to be quite popular with like model makers, model railways, all that sort of thing. Seems to be quite big there, so Kyup says, I kind of want to know what you use to sculpt and where you can purchase it. It's over here. This is Milliput. So yep, Google it. You can probably buy it. I buy it from milliput.com or from Amazon, a seller there. Just look around, see what's cheapest. Luca Alfaro says, I'm a huge fan, man. Thank you very much. I'm so glad to see this live stream. I'm working on a custom right now with my first box of Milliput today, thanks to your use of it. Thank you for doing what you do. It's inspired me. Thank you very much, Luca. That's nice of you to say. What are you working on, if I may ask? Shinigami Custom says he's not joking about Batman Origins being the best. I feel like the gameplay and especially story were almost perfect. Yep. I feel like it had a few bugs. It crashed a few times on me, to be honest, but I did really, really enjoy it. And he also loved Roger Craig Smith as Batman and Troy Baker as the Joker. Yep, absolutely. As Oz says, it's weird that Ultimate Reed is dating Doom's mommy. Is he? I'm giving up on the, what do they call that? The insufferable Iron Man, whatever it is. Infamous Iron Man. I can't be bothered. It's tragic. It's tragic. Any plans making an Infinity Gauntlet for that sick Doctor Doom? No. No. One of my favourite stories is the Infinity Gauntlets, and in that Doctor Doom famously did not get the Infinity Gauntlet. He almost got it and got stupendously defeated by Thanos. So staying true to that, he never got a hold of the Infinity Gauntlet, and neither shall my custom. But thanks for the question anyway. Aidan Maldonado says, what's your nerd level? Odd question, I know. Like, I'm so nerdy. I'm 14 and I have Star Wars bed sheets, but I love being nerdy. My nerd level? I live my life a nerd. I can't really hold conversations about anything that is not nerdy. I don't know. Yep, everything in my life is based around the fictional made-up worlds that I immerse myself in and love. So 1 million is my nerdy level. Kyle Harris also has Marvel bed sheets. Well, see, these are the things, guys. Like, are they actual nerdy or are they movie bed sheets? Because if they're movie bed sheets, they ain't all that nerdy. You know, those are hugely popular things. So, good. As long as they're comic, that's fine. Right, so that seemed to work fine. I glued that in there. That tentacle rotates round. I might heat that a little at some point, or maybe just stick it on a little bit further at the top. It's fine. It's fine the way it is. Right, so now I'm gonna okay, let's do something interesting. Let's I'll go down to his toe. I'll take off that little annoying spike I had been using. And let's put a proper spike in his toe. God, Dremel had a go at me there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this, put it in there, and I want to give it a nice curve. So let me change my drill bit for a cutting disc. That's fine. Okay. So I'm just going to wet this wood, make it a bit more pliable so I can try and give it a bit of a curve. And then I'm going to take my pliers and just pinch it till it curves a bit. So I'm just pinching it and bending it. So they're giving it just a slight upwards curve. Yeah. Okay. What are people saying? Royal Straight Flush Productions asked, did you ever play the Amazing Spider-Man movie games? I'm currently playing through them. First one, and it's surprisingly decent and has some stealth elements similar to Arkham games. I did. I didn't play 3, did I? I played 1 and 2. 3 got really bad reviews, and I didn't play any of the amazing ones. I enjoyed 1 and 2. 2 especially was quite revolutionary in that sort of more realistic way of Spider-Man having to spin his web onto buildings, and it being an open world, and an open world Manhattan was quite groundbreaking and brought a lot of praise at the time. So that was good. I also enjoyed the Web of Shadows. I thought that was really good. And wasn't there another one after Web of Shadows that wasn't so good? Can't remember now. And I liked Shattered Dimensions, and there was another one. Can't remember what it was, but I enjoyed them. Yep. Christopher776, what does your husband do while you're in the room creating? He plays video games mostly, I believe. He better be. He's out gallivanting. I won't have that. Victor Rodriguez, what's your favourite custom of Glenn's? It was his TikTok. Ghost Rider. 822005. You see people's customs, then you try, then it looks like the box set. Rogue. Perhaps, keep trying. Ricardo A. Cabrera, is there a more badass villain in the Marvel Universe other than Doctor Doom? Of course. Villain-wise, Magneto is quite good. He's quite played out, though. His constant flip-flopping between hero and villain is just tedious now. Who else is a great villain? I like Dr. Octopus. Thanos is a bit boring, to be honest. He's also... They keep spinning him as an anti-hero. It's really frustrating. Or as this infinitely clever schemer. It's boring. I quite like Baron Zemo. He's quite cool. Single-minded. But yeah, Annihilus. There's a good one. Ultron is Ultron good? Hey, I like Movie Galactus. There's nothing wrong with Movie Galactus. He's terrifying. Movie Ultron was a disaster. Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four have not had a very good film reputation. That's true. James Stockdale asks, would you consider doing any Aliens or Predator customs? Loving the custom, by the way. Keep up the great work. Thank you, James. Not really. Aliens and Predator, they're not really my thing, and they're all very subtle variations on the same thing. But I think they're cool. I think I really like the sort of wacky Kenner ones. I love that approach to them. I think it's really, really fun. So that's the kind of thing I would like to do, almost like a blend of Masters of the Universe and an Alien. Something wacky. I think that's quite fun. The Predators I just find boring. But the Aliens, sure. I would maybe consider it, but hope Rob Pollock is off. Thanks for coming along, Rob. Always great to have you here. Star Wars Fan 13, are you going to see Guardians Volume 2 next week? It's released on the 28th. I guess so. I'm not sure. I'm not, don't get excited for the movies anymore. Kind of over the whole thing. Guardians 2 isn't really... It doesn't really excite me any more than any other sort of fun-looking science fiction, well-made sort of thing would. I'm not particularly invested in the movie versions of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. But I've heard very positive things about it so far. So I will see it, but probably not on a midnight showing kind of thing, But maybe because my expectations are not high this time, I might enjoy it a lot more. I know what to expect this time. Victor Rodriguez asks, what Marvel Legends you yourself would like to see if you can pick? Don't know. I'd like a Spider-Man These Amazing Friends box set that had Spider-Man, Firestar, Iceman, Aunt May, Ms. Lion, and Video Man. I would love to see that. Am I back on, or...? Yeah, so sorry for the interruption. My phone just flashed up that it was running out of power, but I had plugged the cable and I had to go back to the home screen to see if it was actually plugged in properly. I have some problems with the power cable sometimes. Shinigami Custom says, Thanos miniseries by Jim Starlin from the late 90s or early 2000s was cool. He was a very reluctant hero in that one. That's true. Aster Productions, hello, says, finally managed to get the newish Marvel Legends Wolverine on eBay. Really excited to get him. I'm just trying to get this annoying tentacle to stick. I know it's a bit boring, I'm sorry. Right, so I did that. What else? I might do some of these other spikes. Let's do these. What's my favourite figure of all time? Asks Aidan Maldonado. Age of Apocalypse Iceman, perhaps, or the Secret Wars Iceman. There's just something about a transparent figure that I really, really love. And those were particularly good versions of the characters. Some people may be wondering why I use a wood sort of spike when I could just sculpt it. When you do sort of thin, long thin sculpts, they become brittle easily, so I like to support them with the woods inside the sculpt. That's why. I'm excited for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yeah, if they make it better than the first one. I love the Battlefront games, especially the original Battlefront games, especially Star Wars Battlefront 2. Loved that. My husband and I played that a lot. We could play it split screen co-op. That was really good. And play against I don't really enjoy playing online a lot. I enjoy playing against the computer, the CPU or whatever they call it. Went flying away. So yeah, if they can give us like a split screen co-op campaign, I would love that. So yeah, kind of excited to find out more about that. Too long? It's a bit too long. Should have just made the hole deeper. That would be the smart move, right? Anyway, done now. Okay, sorry, what are people saying? Victor Rodriguez asks what will be your next custom you will do. Don't know, Victor. Let me just focus on this one first. James Stockdale, Fox just set dates for New Mutants, Deadpool 2 and X-Men Dark Phoenix. Cool, whatever. The Logan figure is great. Bobby Tinsley says, you're my favourite customiser. Thank you very much, Bobby. Kind of you to say. Azaz says, I kind of wish either Blastar or Annihilation Ultron were the Build-A-Figure instead of Movie Mantis. That was very disappointed. Amen. Yeah. Blastar, Annihilation the Great Ultron from Annihilation Conquest. Annihilus himself, if they took another bash at that, that'd be awesome. I don't know. Anything, you know. Mantis, I'm not. I like Mantis, but not as a Build-A-Figure, you know. Kind of get the impression that ex-Nihilo was supposed to be the Build-A-Figure. Then they realised that no one fucking knew who he was. So he wouldn't work really as a Build-A-Figure, so they just put Mantis in there instead. That's kind of the feeling I get. Cameron's Customs asks, do you watch other customizers like Anthony's Customs? No, I don't. I don't tend to watch a lot of other action figure stuff on YouTube, actually. I watch drag queens on YouTube a lot. Drag queens and old horror movies that are too terrible to make it onto Netflix or something. I'm very insular in my action figure hobbies. I don't know. Fucking this up. I don't go to a lot of action figure websites or take part in a lot of action figure groups or chat or community. So yeah, if people talk to me, I of course talk to them back, but I don't tend to go seeking others. It's just my personality, I guess. Lonely nerd. Aidan Maldonado says, I'd make more customs, but the time and dedication is too much. I don't have the time. Yeah, exactly. Milo Plays PS4 says, looking good, Craig. What a monster of a build. It's huge. Yeah, it's much more in depth than I kind of imagined it would be, taking a life of its own. Bobby Tinsley, are you excited for Spider-Man Homecoming? No, not especially. It's a movie. It's what, for Spider-Man 6? No, I think I've seen enough Spider-Man movies at this point to not get excited. Sorry, I keep knocking the camera. Victor Rodriguez, I would like to see a new Fin Fang Foom figure. Yeah, I guess so. Don't really know what to do with Fin Fang Foom. Rather see Mandarin. Victor Rodriguez says, what female Marvel Legends would I like to see that they haven't made yet? Firestar, Aunt May, Cecilia Reyes, Marrow, who else? Destiny, Monica Rambeau, but she's coming soon. Moondragon. Yeah, there's plenty. Aidan has to go. Thank you for joining us, Aidan. Thank you. Ghost Rider 822005 asks, have I seen Logan? Yes, I have. Milo Plays PS4 says, I'd like to see you have a go at Shathra. Oh, that's a good idea. I did, Shathra has been on my sort of custom list years ago. It's just kind of fallen off. But yeah, Shathra, she was awesome. Yep. Bobby Tinsley says, you have 78 mobile legends. What's a... Oh, I'm sorry, that must be autocorrect for Marvel Legends. 78, huh? Is that a lot? Is that not much? I'm not sure. Are you satisfied with 78 or do you need more? I have to glue this one in more. It's kind of wriggling around in there. Get in there, Wilma. Just tell it to call you Billy. Everybody does. Is it Willie? Right, so got those wooden bits in place. What else can I do here? I need a tentacle here and here. Tentacle. Victor Rodriguez says, I think you've found your next custom. Yeah, perhaps. We shall see. Shathra indeed. Everyone will be like, who is she? She's not in a movie. She's not in the Avengers. Righty, so I'm going up. Will I be watching the remake of it? Probably. Yeah, whether it's good or bad, I'll see it. Kyle Harris says, it sounds like I'm repeatedly saying testicle. I am. Didn't you know in Scotland, tentacle and testicle are exactly the same thing? And Scottish men have tentacle testicles. AWPWNS says, is the custom Mysterio still on the back burner? Yes, it is indeed. I think I'll abandon it actually. I'm pretty sure Hasbro are going to do their own Mysterio, which will be serviceable enough. I might make a cloak or something for it when it comes out, but also Action Figure Toronto has been, I think, thinking of doing a Mysterio for a while, so I'm interested to see how his would come out, but yeah, I just kind of lost my Mysterio mojo, so I think we can assume that he's not going to happen. Sorry about it. Chrissy says, hello Craig, hello Chrissy, you're doing an amazing job, I'm really proud to see it. Thank you very much, very kind of you. Pad Connolly, wait, Pad, didn't I I threw Pad out last time, so let's just cut to the chase and get rid of him just now. Michael Wisman is back. Ghost Rider 822005. How do you feel about the new Mysterio figure? Personally, I'm excited. I missed out on the Spider-Man Classics one. Well, I've not seen the new one, so I don't know whether to be excited or disgusted at it yet. The Spider-Man Classics one was a fucking nightmare. Terrible, awful figure. Really bad. Even at the time. Shinigami Custom says that yes, he asks if there's a new Mysterio coming. So the rumour would have us believe. Jonas SM, saludos desde Argentina. Well, I'm assuming that says hello from Argentina. So hello from Scotland. That's as much as I can. Rough Translation says, hello Warrack. Hello Rough Translation. Milo plays PS4. I've been subbed to you for years on my other account. I watched every one of your videos, including the whole of I Was a Teenage Customizer. Thank you. Thank you for sitting through that. Bobby Tinsley, do you watch Game of Thrones? Yes, I do. Paddy Lawrence, I love your channel. Thank you. Alizor, hello from Poland and hello from Scotland. Am I excited for Star Wars Episode 8? Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Sure, I'm excited to see what happens with Rey. Sure, why not? Rough Translation says, thanks for these videos, your ideas and talent is inspiring. Thank you, that's very kind. Oh God. Something, yeah, James Stockdale says, who's dying in episode 8. Something that I don't want Star Wars to become, and I hate when any sort of fiction becomes it, is all about who's going to live and who's going to die. I just think it's kind of dull. You know, there should be more to it than just that. You know, you can have characters go through something like in Empire Strikes Back, Han Solo is frozen, Luke Skywalker loses a hand. There's more to do than just kill characters off the whole time. TZ the Geek says, do you have a favourite character design? Doctor Doom, I guess. Not too sure. Game of Thrones is the only thing that gets that right. Yes, because it's always been about that. You know, that's its thing. Are you excited to watch the new Stephen King? Not excited, but interested. I've never seen The Sopranos myself. Has it got a monster in it? I tend to only watch things that have monsters in them. Milo says he's not a big fan of remakes. Well, it isn't really... Well, is it a remake? It's an adaptation of a book, you know? So, it's not so much of a remake. Gabriel, you've already said about Crash Bandicoot. So just, you know, no one picked you up on it, it's fine. Favourite movie or horror movie design? The Blob. Fantastic. In it, that it has no design. I think it's just an amazing creature. And such a brilliant special effect as well. Righty, so we've got that now. Do I want to... Yeah, let's get this new bit sculpted. Well, might be interesting to do the... Yeah, let's do that. Let me get some sculpt here. Oh, this is almost 3 hours. What's Mind Killer, Michael? Kyle said he's currently watching Grimm. Yeah, my husband watched a couple of seasons of that, I think. I didn't really get into it, but he liked it at the start anyway. Yeah, he could see all the fairy tale monsters and werewolves and stuff. Ricardo says he just saw the 1988 remake of The Blob. It's one of my favourite horror movies. I absolutely love that movie. I think it's a perfect 80s horror movie in and of itself, but as an update of that original terrible Blob movie. It was just so good. Just so good. The kids get killed in it, the guys that you think are the heroes at the start are just fodder. And the sort of twist with the Blob not being from space and that sort of thing, it was just so well done. The special effects were amazing, terrifying. And I also want the Blob on Blu-ray with a lot of commentary. Get what's her name in? What's this? The star? Shawnee Smith. Get her in. Talk about it. Brilliant. Would love it. As Oz is Oz, it would be brilliant if they were making Marvel Legends, X-Men, Secret War 2-packs, God, Doom and Grown Beard Reed with accessories. I hated that series of Secret Wars actually, so I did quite like Reed with his beard. So that was a good look for him, but did not like Secret Wars at all. It was completely pointless. No one was who they were supposed to be. For that, that's how they wrote out Sue and Reed Richards. Was that Sue wasn't even herself? She was just a mind slave to Doctor Doom. That's not fair on Sue. That was a crap. That was just. And even what Doctor Doom was doing with the world was just. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. Let's leave it there. Cameron's Customs says, do you like more paranormal horror movies like The Ring? Yeah, I kind of do. I prefer something a bit unrealistic over a slasher with an axe or something, although I do enjoy those movies. I do like there to be a monster of some kind, some sort of concept, a primal fear. It's embodied in some way. Odeasu says, hey Craig, hope you had a good time in Newcastle on your anniversary. I did, thank you very much. Had a very nice time. I did actually take a lot of footage when I was down in Newcastle and was going to edit it together into a toy hunting video, but then just kind of got bored. So didn't do it. Steve McQueen was in the original Blob, I know. He was 74 and he was playing a 20-year-old. It was disgraceful. James Stockdale says, best horror movie ever, cough, Leprechaun, cough. Leprechaun's alright. It's supposed to be stupid, so it's fine. Sarah, well, there's an offer. First 10 people to subscribe to my channel get a shout out in my next video. 10? Wow, you're really aiming for the stars there, Sarah. Keep going. Kyle Harris says he owns 250 Lord of the Rings figures. Good lord. Good Lord of the Rings. Milo says that modern horror movies seem to rely on jump scares. That is very true. Very true. I would recommend It Follows. Is an awesome film. I also really enjoyed The Babadook. They're very different from The Blob. Looking at my DVD shelf, seeing if there's anything that jumps out at me. They're mostly they're pre-80s to be honest. A lot of Vincent Price stuff. 70s. But yeah, It Follows and The Babadook. And also Don't Breathe was a really good one. Forbidden Figure World. Can Milliput be used to make masks? I guess so. Yep. Like, Gabriel, I'm going to actually just throw you out. You're just talking shite now. James Stockdale asked, did I watch The Witch? Yes, I did. And I was all hyped to see it, and I thought it was just kind of mediocre, a little bit misguided. Nice in style, very shallow in content. Did not really get much from it, to be honest, unfortunately. The Witch. TZ the Geek. My favourite horror movie is Shaun of the Dead. My favourite monster is the Fawn from Pan's Labyrinth. I've never seen Pan's Labyrinth all the way through. I started it a few times, get kind of bored. I'm not a big Del Toro fan, to be honest. But I do keep meaning to watch that. But like I say, I often watch movies or TV as sort of background noise, so subtitled movies are not ideal for me because I have to obviously look at them to appreciate them. So that's partly why I haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth. So I think I'm going to try and sculpt this knee and then call it a night. Been doing this for just over 3 hours now. And what have I done? Sculpted that chest bit, put a tentacle on the, put a couple of tentacles on the leg, and now I'm doing a knee pad. Put some spikes in the boots. That's what people say. Sorry. Kyle Harris, The Babadook was one of the best horror films I've ever seen, as did not rely on cheap jump scares. Yes, it's very metaphoric. I like it a lot. Very brave in its subject matter as well, with a mother that resents her child. It's yeah, good movie. Stylized, enjoyed it a lot. Barry Francis says he thought the way the Blob ended, thought there was going to be a sequel. Well, perhaps. Yep. But yeah, what's a good 80s horror movie if it doesn't end with the villain surviving in some way? Ghost Rider 8222005. What is better, Civil War or Freddy vs. Jason? Me personally, Civil War. Well, Civil War, Freddy vs. Jason's like, I mean, it's fun, you know, but it's not really. It has, yeah, you know, it's not really a fair comparison. One is a massive blockbuster movie, the other is a well-budgeted horror popcorn flick, you know. Even as a horror movie, it's not successful. It's fan service is what it is, really. Starfighter Cinema says, looks awesome so far, Craig. I have to be honest, but your sculpting skills are on par. On par with what? On par? That's just means they're average, right? That's just what people should be aiming for. I want them to be excellent. I mean, I'm not really pushing my sculpting skills with this, to be honest. A couple of lines, but yeah. Silence. It's the very essence of documentary. Silence. Can you name what movie that is from? Archeluo says, "Don't put the thing out of the sight. We're not here for a hand." Why don't you go fuck off then? It's more important that I see it than you see it. Sorry, that was harsh. husband is choking to death next door. Oh well. I'll have to get a new one. Aaron W. Engel asks, Aaron W. Engel the first, rather, asks, is this an original figure design or was this in the comics? This concept was in the comics, but this design was not. Doctor Doom's Destroyer armour was in the comics. I'll get that shit out of here. Milo plays PS4 asks, what was the last comic you read, Craig? I'm not too sure now. You ask that. I've got a Marvel Unlimited subscription, so I read quite a lot of stuff. But it would have been an older thing. Would it? I'm trying to think what I read of this week's releases on Marvel Unlimited. Maybe nothing. Because it's, you know, Marvel Unlimited's in the middle of Civil War 2 at the moment, and who gives a shit, man? Luckily, when that's over, I've got to look forward to the even more who gives a shit of X-Men versus Inhumans. James Stockdale asked, do I read any Image stuff? No, I don't. Milo plays PS4 says he was reading his old copies of Wolverine today, reread the Weapon X saga. Cool. Have I read XO Man of War? No, I haven't. Tony Bray says, sup buddy. Not much, just customising and getting ready to finish up here. Soon, I imagine. Michael Westman says he's been slowly collecting the Hellboy trades. Great short stories, and I love Mike Mignola's artwork, indeed. Shinigami says he's finally done with painting 2 Hugh Jackman Wolverine heads. God. Difficult. Full respect to people who paint lifelike customs. It's not something I have any aptitude for. Okay, lads, can't I just never finish this stream? Yeah. That'd be nice, but unfortunately my husband would get super pissed off with me, right? Well, I'm assuming he would. He'd probably actually not mind if I just left him alone for Milo, please. PS4 says I'm not even into toy customization. Funnily enough, I enjoy it, but I've only ever been subbed to you and one other. I found you years ago when I was watching some ACBA videos. Cool. Yeah, hopefully you don't have to be into customization to just enjoy the process, I guess. I would normally wait until this had cured this bit before I did this work on it, but as soon as you guys are here, try and speed it along a little. Probably fuck it all up, but there we are. Put my thumb in that. Idiot. Oh well, fix it in a wee bit. Yes, this isn't working out too well. Should wait till it's cured before I try and add this sort of peaked detail. Anyway. There's nothing sandpaper can't sort. bit of sculpt left. Try and put it to use somewhere. Craig, don't put your fingers in it. Sorry. Michael Westman says, Invincible and The Walking Dead are the only Image comics he stays current with, but they have a lot of great titles. Indeed they do. Milo Plays PS4 says he found you, that's me I guess, through a channel that collected Marvel figures. He was a young guy from London who was a photographer. He's not on YouTube anymore. I can't remember. He sold his collection. Webhead X. Craig Burton. Yeah. He got out of the figure collecting game and got into I think he got into like Funko Pops or something, and then he got out of that and he got into just DVD collecting and movies. I think he goes under Spider Geek now. Star Wars Fan 13 asks, what Marvel Legend are you most excited for this year that has already been announced? It's Adam Warlock. Locke says he's here for the big veiny wrists. These are not big, these are dainty ladies' wrists with an artisan's hands at the end of them. Disgusting nails. Ugh. What kind of work time does Milliput have? It says it goes rock hard in 2 to 3 hours at normal room temperature. Maybe about an hour of actual working time. Useful working time. Let's find this a challenge to do, to wrap the sculpt around the surface. You push one side and the other side comes off. It's always challenging. Means I've got too much on there, more than Oh, righty, sorry, what have people been saying? Jesus Christ, man. Sorry, I was slow on that one. But remove them now. Shinigami Customs. Well, first of all, locks, yes, chill out, ignore the trolls. Every time this guy comes in, it's the same guy every time, by the way. Just under a different username. Just please ignore him. Don't acknowledge him in any way. And I'll get round to him eventually. But Shinigami Customs asks, what do you think about the Injustice 2 costume designs? I haven't seen a lot of them, but I really didn't like the Injustice 1 costume designs. Too armoured, too, I don't know, just kind of all round silly. To be honest, like the Flash with armour on, like what, why? What's with Superman with armour on? It just, ugh, you know, silly. Anyway, Star Wars Fan 13, I know you did this Pennywise custom for the Secret Santa, so I don't really know if you're a fan of horror or not. Yes, I am. But would you ever have ever done any other horror customs, Freddy or Jason? Probably not those guys, but other ones, sure, maybe. As always, I don't like the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite idea for the game to focus on Marvel Cinematic Universe characters without the Fantastic Four and X-Men. Well, I haven't heard that it's going to focus on that. That's kind of disappointing. Do I like 21 Pilots? Don't know what that is. Any plans on doing an ACBA video with your Destroyer, like your Latveria Rises video? There's an idea. I guess I could maybe try. But I'm very old school ACB, as I found out from getting a backlash over the recent Worlds tournament. I don't know if it would go down well. Anyway, we'll see. Maybe. Oh my god. It's the whole neck, wrist, foot thing, it's tiresome. Been ignoring it on purpose. Yep. Kefrin the Great. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna get rid of that. Well, I know what it is, but why would you go to that effort? Do you watch any Toy Hunters? Nope. Bobby Tinsley says, how could you, you don't know what 21 Pilots is? How dare you, how do you, what? I can string a sentence together even if I don't know who 21 Pilots is, Bobby, but, you know, we can't all be perfect. Michael Wisman says, are you excited for more Ultimate characters? I just got the Ultimate Vulture set from Billy. No, I'm not, Michael. You know, I'm not much into Ultimate. I can't think of any characters I'd really like to get from the Ultimate Universe. They're all a little dated now, aren't they? 21 Pilots is a music band. Look, I'm almost 40. Like, you know, I just don't, you know, pop music, I lost touch with it when I was like 23. It just stopped being, you know, I just don't care anymore. Righty. Okay, well, I think I'm finishing up here, everyone. So thank you very much for joining me. Let me bring these guys back. Anyway, you guys don't seem to actually give a shit about anything I'm saying anymore, so you might as well go talk about your fucking 21 Pilots somewhere else. Star Wars 13 says, when do you think we'll get another classic Wolverine looking Marvel Legend and Nightcrawler? But I don't know, I have no insight. There seems to be no rhyme or reason. But thank you everyone for joining me, and I will continue working on this, making that look actually semi-decent, hopefully. Looks like a fucking disaster at the moment. I had wanted to show you how I sculpt the rivets on there using nail caviar. Just setting it into the sculpt there, but that's pretty self-explanatory now you've seen it. Lovely colour. That's why I painted this. I would normally leave it just the colour of the sculpt, but I painted it because it was shockingly pink. It looked silly. I wanted to see whether it would actually look like rivets as well. So I guess I'll do another one of these at some point. I do need to do, like I said, the cloak, the asymmetrical cloak. Need to finish up the arm, work on more details. I need to do the face, importantly. And then I think that is about it. So hopefully I'll do another one and get them near finished, and I shall see you in that one, hopefully. If I don't see you before then in a 60-second showcase, if something unexpected comes through the mail, then I have to do 60 seconds of it. Anyway, as I said, thank you very much for joining me and staying with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.